but you get a false sense of equality with the civil rights movement.
Well, that was different. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't even think that they were looking for. I don't think they were looking for what a lot of brothers here be talking about. Man, they was looking simply for the ability to live. You know what I'm saying? Because truth be told, most black folks probably had more power and influence during the time of Reconstruction than they probably had during the Civil Rights era. You know what I'm saying? As far as political sway and offices and things of that nature around that time. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? The connection got unstable, and I forgot how to do it to make it run again. So let's start it over with. I'll give y'all a couple seconds to get back. But you know, civil rights women, they just wanted to be treated like a human being. You know what I'm saying? Because them white folks, especially down here in the South, them white folks were doing us dirty. They were doing us dirty. I told y'all about Jacksonville got a day down here, man. It's Axe Handle Saturday. Oh, you looking crazy. You don't know about that? Oh, you better do your research. That's the name of it. I'm dead serious. Axe Handle Saturday. Some black folks went to try to have a sit-in at the Woolworths downtown. Man, the white folks came out with axe handle, man, beat niggas bloody. Yeah, man, that really happened. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what day that is. I'm trying to get people time to roll back in. And we gonna get the rolling and grooving and all that good stuff, man. Yeah, it's probably been about 60 some odd years since Axe Handle Saturday. We don't want no axe thrown in Jacksonville. Amen, brother. Axe Handle Saturday, also known as the Jacksonville Riot of 1960, was a racially motivated attack in Hemming Park in Jacksonville, Florida on August 27th, 1960. A group of about 200 white men used baseball bats and axe handles to attack black people who were in a sit-in protest opposing racial segregation. So that Woolworths, I think, was right where the library is now. You know, Hemming Plaza is now called James Weldon Park because it was named after some racist white man. Yeah, that was a public square bought by Isaiah Hart in 1857, the founder of Jacksonville. So that green bridge you go across, that's who it's named after. Yeah, he founded the city. He said after the death of Thunu, the area was renamed Hemming Park in 1899 in honor of Civil War veteran Charles C. Hemming. And then they installed a 62-foot tall Confederate monument in the park. Hemming was born in Jacksonville, and he later moved to Colorado Springs, Colorado, and became a baker, making a fortune. And so, of course, you know, now it's named after James Weldon Johnson. They said because of his high visibility and patronage, Hemming Park and surrounding stores were the site of numerous civil rights demonstrations in the 1960s. Sit-ins began August 13th, 1960, when students asked for service at the segregated lunch counter at W.T. Grant, Woolworths, Morrison's Cafeteria, and other eateries. They were denied service, kicked, spat at, and addressed with racial slurs. On the 27th of August, a group of approximately 200 white men, some of who were thought to have Ku Klux Klan affiliations, gathered in Hemming Park. It's funny they call it Park because we call it Plaza. Ain't nobody right. They call it Hemming Park. They probably call it James Weldon Park now, though. They attacked the protesters conducting sit-ins. The violence spread. The white mob started attacking all black people in sight. Rumors were rampant on both sides that the unrest was spreading around the county. Actually, the violence stayed relatively in the same location and did not spill into the mostly white upper-class Cedar Hills neighborhood, for example. Y'all know where Cedar Hills at, don't you? That's over here. Well, not over here. That's on the west side. Cedar Hills is more Normandy, Sweetwater, Firestone Road. You know what I'm saying? 103rd, all that. That's Cedar Hills by definition. Clearly, it ain't white upper class no more. I can tell you that. If you've been on 103rd, it's a lot of things, boy, but white upper class ain't it. You know what I'm talking about? You say, shoot, there's more white folks over here with that junk than anything. Say a black street gang called the Boomerangs came to protect the demonstrators. Police had not intervened when the protesters were attacked, but when blacks started holding their own and the Boomerangs and other black residents attempted to stop the beatings, the police arrested them for it. Not Glover, which of course that's Mike's grandfather, who later worked for Jacksonville law enforcement for 37 years, including 8 years as sheriff of Jacksonville, recalled stumbling into the riot. Glover said he ran to the police expecting them to arrest the thugs, but was told to leave town or risk being killed. Several white people had joined the black protesters on that day. Richard Charles Parker, a 25-year-old student attending Florida State University, was among them. White protesters were the object of particular dislike by racists. So when the fracas began, Parker was hustled out of the area for his own protection. The police had been watching him and arrested him as an instigator, charging him with vagrancy and disorderly conduct and inciting a riot. After Parker stated that he was proud to be a member of the NAACP, Judge John Santora sentenced him to 90 days in jail. He was attacked in jail, suffering a broken jaw, after which Santora sentenced him to a road gang, which, of course, you know, that's the chain gang. That's having people work on the street. Local authorities and news media downplayed the violence. Mayor Hayden Burns claimed there was no violence. Jacksonville's leading newspaper buried the story on page 15. It was covered by local black publications, out-of-town reporters, and In Life magazine. The mayor alleged most rioters were not Jacksonville residents and refused to convene a committee requested by the NAACP to address racial discrimination. Snyder Memorial Methodist Episcopal Church hosted community discussions and negotiations following the incident. Lunch counters in Jacksonville were desegregated in 1961. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. For those of y'all that are not from here, but this town racist as hell. You know what I'm talking about? And it's always been like that. Probably won't be as bad now because a lot of them white folk dying and there's a lot of out of towners in this. See, when the further south you go in Florida, the more liberal it is. You know what I'm saying? Once you get to like Orlando, it start getting liberal. By the time you get to South Florida, it's completely liberal. You know what I'm saying? But that Panhandle and North Florida, oh dude. Let me tell you something. We were just out in Ocean Way today, boy. Niggas had to walk around with fire in Ocean Way, shoot, in the 2000s, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? All that getting caught. Y'all see some of y'all now. Oh yeah, we out here in Ocean Way, man. Nigga wouldn't dare be out there in Ocean Way without no pistol out the door, cause they was still beating niggas. You know what I'm saying? You was not finna get caught in Ocean Way. And nigga, man, my homeboy used to serve white people out there, man. Boy, we had to go around there ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, boy. Say it. And they still fly Confederate flags in Ocean Way with no care, concern, or regard. It's just now they done built very expensive homes out there, so it ain't what it was. When I say 2000, man, I'm talking about 2002, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, man. You wasn't finna be in Ocean Way dolo. Like it's sweet. Man, the white folk catch you out there, man, they gonna do you dirty. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man, that's real talk. Like, shoot. In my lifetime, niggas know about that who from here. But yeah, this town racist as hell, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about bad. So you come down here, you let the smooth taste fool you. You know what I'm saying? But I say it's a little different now because you got a whole bunch of out-of-towners here now. You know what I'm saying? So they move different. She said definitely a lot of homes out here with a Confederate flag and you move around there. But you got your gun. Yeah, the white folks don't care nothing about that. Not out there. I wouldn't care what they build out there. I ain't even playing. I'm not living out there. Man, I've been unhurt one of the white folks around there, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't on that. I think most of them got to chill out. Now they ain't got no choice. Because it ain't just black folks who live out there. It's people who people who, if they would have been here 15, 20 years ago, would have been living on the south side. You know what I'm saying? Now they living out there. They wouldn't have been living over there. You know what I'm saying? But it was so much land over there that there was no way that they was like, we not finna build homes out here. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, 15, 20 years ago, a lot of them people who live in them subdivisions out there now, they'd have been on the south side. They wouldn't have been over there. You know what I'm saying? Not even close. The same, no, not even close. It's the same token over here too, man. A lot of them wouldn't have been over here. Is that near President Trump? Oh, no. You know what I'm saying? Ocean Way is on the north side of Jacksonville. Deep as if you're going to Fernandina Beach. You know what I'm saying? Really like if you're going towards the Georgia border. You know what I'm talking about? Because a lot of people be like, Jacksonville is just South Georgia because, shoot, nigga, Georgia racist as hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, all niggas know is Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? That's Atlanta. The rest of the state of Georgia is not like that. You know what I'm talking about? Georgia is rural. And them crackers racist. You know what I'm talking about? They don't fool with niggas in Georgia like that. You know what I'm saying? And in North Florida and West Florida, they don't fool with niggas like that either. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you don't want to get caught out here, man. You don't want to get caught in Stark. You don't want to get caught in Laude. You don't want to get caught in Taylor County. You don't want to get caught in a lot of counties around here, man. Not in Northwest and Northeast Florida, man, you're going to have some problems. If you get caught in the right place in the wrong place at the wrong time, I ain't saying that to be scary or to startle nobody. I'm just telling you the reality of the situation, man. It's racist around here. Like I said, I'm from here, so I know. I've been here 45 years. And they've only had 2 black sheriffs in the entirety of the time that I've been alive. Glover Granddaddy and the man they got right now. They've only had 1 black mayor, and they only had him because of Bill Clinton. Just 1. And he ain't served 2 terms. He only served 1. We got a goddamn lady who was a news lady who the mayor. A news lady. Donna Deegan did the news, man. The news. Hell, shoot, lady who did, I ain't gonna disrespect George Morgan like that because she's black and I done met her before. She's nice people. But shoot, that lady been on the city council and now she the property appraiser. She was a news lady. But she good people. A lot of them do that. But I know, I mean, it's local, so it's different. But yeah, man, it's different now. I tell you that. I went to go meet a white dude who was selling his house a couple weeks back. He was like, yeah, man, I gotta move, man. He said, it's not the sleepy town that I remember when I was a child. I said, well, where you moving to? That nigga said, Putnam County. I said, man, get the hell out of here. You know what I'm saying? Putnam County right down the road. But it's the aspect of, he probably feel like it's getting liberal. You know what I'm saying? I just seen some job, they got an LGBTQ type. Man, the people who from here, like really, really from here, man, they ain't on that stuff, man. Yeah, they ain't on that. Like the same way you hear people complaining about how boring it is, because they don't, that's why you get a little resistance from people who from here, because they like, no, man, we ain't really trying to be like that. We don't want to be Atlanta. We don't want to be Miami. But people from out of town, they wanted to be just that, there, and the third. But they don't know you can't have that in Jacksonville. Because we had a lot of clubs here. And they ain't here no more. You know why they ain't here no more? Because niggas kill. And when I say niggas, I ain't talking about just black folks. Everybody. You know what I'm saying? This ain't just no isolated to black people type of deal, man. Nah, people in Jacksonville like to shoot people. I'm not saying that to brag or nothing. I'm just telling you the reality of people in Jacksonville like to shoot people. The white boys like to shoot people. Black folks like to shoot people. They like to shoot people here. These people get drunk, get agitated, argue, pull out a gun, and shoot somebody. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just white. It is. I'm telling you, it ain't just black folks. We white folks like to shoot people too. Come on, man. Come on back to Revelation 3. Because I wanted to talk about these garments. You can read 3 of them. I'm going to tell any of y'all that. If any of y'all ever get in your brain and say, yeah, man, I want to move down there with these people, I'm going to tell you something, man, don't come down here bothering nobody. Because people down here don't know how to act. And I ain't saying that to be nothing but the reality of the situation. People down here don't know how to act. You know what I'm saying? They really don't. I think a lot of shootings that be happening here outside of like just people just who already had beef, that junk be coming from people out there arguing. You know what I'm saying? And somebody been done pulled the gun and shot somebody. And people down here don't know how to act. In general. Most people down here are nice. But you don't want to be out here arguing with people because some of these people here don't know how to act. At all. You know what I'm saying? And you'd be like, oh, that's just in the hood, man. That junk don't matter here. That junk don't matter here. Don't come down here arguing, going back and forth with people, talking tough and talking crazy, man. Somebody gonna do something to you. Maybe the out of towners won't. But if they born and raised in the Pangham, well, they gonna shoot you, boy. You know what I'm talking about? They gonna shoot you. All right, I mean that. I'm dead serious about that. They gonna shoot you. People who born and raised from here, they don't care about none of that. Because I think I seen Cameron telling the story about telling New York people stop going out of town. He told a story talking about Freaky Zeke walking to KFC in Miami to my New York's in the building, move out the way so we can order. Because I already noticed here, because New Yorkers think they're the toughest, hardest, smartest, flyest, everything wherever they go. And it'd be like, man, Cam would tell them, like, y'all need to stop doing that. Because, boy, some people don't care nothing about none of that. Especially when they come down here. You know what I'm saying? We've seen that when we were younger. In the early 90s, all them New Yorkers came down here, man, niggas beat them niggas up, man. And it's not because to say that, not that to mean all of them. It's not to say that New Yorkers are soft. It was the fact that the way that New Yorkers think, they thinking that people in other cities care about that. Man, don't nobody care about that. The same token, you from Jacksonville, you know, man, you can't go to New Orleans talking this, that, and the third. Man, the boy don't care about that. You'll find out real quick. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, he said, yeah, bro, the company I work for is wholly partnered with LGBTQ and throws drag parties. And oh my God, dang. No, you got to find that junk. It was on, I think it was on Talk with Fleet. No, it was on Is What It Is. I seen the short on YouTube where Cam was like, please stop doing that. Because he said Freaky did all that. And he said them boys popped out with AKs on them boys, man. You know what I'm saying? Carjacked them and everything. Because he did it. He's like New York in the building and put them people out the way in the KFC and ordered the food. You know what I'm saying? Now, she laughing because she know. If you've been around New York, you know, New Yorkers, like, they think like that. And it's not because New Yorkers are inherently bad. It's just the mentality of people from that city. That's just the thought process in that. So when they go out of town, they bring that with them. Now, the wise ones don't bring that with them. You know what I'm saying? The ones who got sense. Well, really, he put it this way. Can't put it this way. Those who don't travel and don't leave outside of New York do that. I forgot that part. He did say that. He said, these are for my New Yorkers who don't. Because people who travel, they know better than that. But if you ain't really been outside of New York City, you thinking, man, nigga gonna bow down and worship the ground you walk on. You gonna find a nigga gonna start to fire at you, boy. He gonna start to fire at you, man. They was like, man, who that nigga think he is? But it did what it is, man. 3-1. It was funny how you got to hear him tell the story too of what Freaky did. That junk was hilarious. As he said, niggas with him like, come on, bro, you gonna get us killed. Because he said, give up the chain. He said, Freaky didn't want to give up the chain.
So, he's a strange person, but I've met a lot of Freaky Zeke.
Freaky Zeke is hilarious.
Yeah, he's wild.
That nigga is hilarious. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, it's the fact of he learned something that day. Like, man, them boys in Miami don't care nothing about that. You know how disrespectful that is to walk in there and say, move out the way. New York's in the building. We finna order. Nigga, I've been standing here for 10 minutes. I'm hungry too. Nigga looking at this like you just disrespected me as a man. Yeah, that's wild. Revelation 3:1. You would think nobody would have to tell nobody that.
Saying unto the Malachim of the assembly and Sardis, right, these things saith he that had the 7 ruachs of Elohim and the 7 stars. I know your works, that you have a name, and that you live and are dead.
Hold on, Chris. I just seen what verse are you talking about? The righteous take. Oh, no. Are you talking about these like the kingdom is heavy? I know what verse you're talking about. Hold on. It's similar to that because that's how I go. Hold on, I'll read it. I know. I just looked down and seen there was a comment on that. I missed it. So this is Matthew 11 and 11. Truly I say unto you that among them that are born of women there have not risen a greater than John the Baptist, notwithstanding he that is least in the Malkuth for Shamahim is greater than he. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffer violence, and the violent take it by force. So, of course, he's talking about those who serve Yahuwah, have always suffered violence from the hands of the wicked, and then the violence is trying to take the kingdom by force. Or like what we've seen with the contention with the wells. They're trying to take it. Because that's just how power works. Like when you came into the land, them Canaanites didn't give you that land. Them Moabites didn't give you that land. You had to take it. You took Jericho. They didn't give you Jericho. You know what I'm saying?
See, by force.
Yeah, it's going to be by force. That's just how it goes. So when I travel, I always remind myself, this is someone else's turn. Yeah, shoot, man. Just being in Jacksonville, niggas remind themselves that when they on another side of town. When we were young, like, boy, I ain't from out east. I ain't from over here. I'm from zone 3. You can't move around and do X, Y, Z like this here. Because, you know, Jacksonville is a big city, man. You could be in this city, nigga be like it's small, but that's just because people running the same social circles. But, man, you could be in this city, man, and not see a nigga for 10 years. And live on the same side of town they live in and don't even know they live over there. Because you might never see them. Go ahead, man.
Say, be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die. For I have not found your works perfect before Elohim. Remember, therefore, how you have received and have heard, and hold fast and repent. If therefore you shall not watch, I'll come on you as a thief, and you shall not know what hour I will come upon you.
So listen, right? Be watchful and strengthen. When you look at strengthen here, right? It's sterizo. It's something to render constant, to confirm one's mind, to strengthen, to steadfastly establish. So you have to make firm in your brain the things that are ready to die. And you need to be paying attention. So that are ready to die at that. What does it mean ready? It ain't talking about no biggie. And that's a pathaneko. Nasco, excuse me. And that means perish by means of something, to die, you know, and then other things like this here, right? So again, I think we discussed it a little bit, but I want to focus on this a little bit more. So listen, right? When you strengthen the things that are ready to die, what do you look at that? Well, we kind of read that in Job 11, because now I'm going to have to get their bread version. This is 11:15. We'll have to carry this over until tomorrow. We would have been there without the delay. Because I also do want to talk about the main part with the focus on, which was the overcoming. When you don't strengthen the things that are ready to die, case in point, when he told them all the things on the other side of the flood, leave that over there. But when you go before that, they hadn't strengthened the things that were ready to die, because they should have had that gone with the oppression that they suffered in Egypt, but yet they wanted to go back. But yet they created idols like the idols that were in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Things of this nature. So when you look at be watchful, which of course is to be ready. We'll go back to what we were talking about watching and praying that you enter not into temptation. But that word there is gregorio, which is to give strict attention to be cautious and to be active. And that would take us back to what we were talking about in Exodus 23 and 13 about being circumspect. So you want to give strict attention to, I forgot what strength was by definition, just that fast. You want to give strict attention to, and then confirm in your mind that which is ready to die, that which you need to take up your stake and mortify. And that comes with self-awareness, because you're going to have to give strict attention to it. So when he says sit upon your own bed and commune with your own heart and examine yourself whether you be in the faith, this is what he's telling them. He said your work's not perfect before God. He said, I haven't found them. They're not perfect before God. So you need to give strict attention to and confirm in your mind that which you need to put to death. Because he said, if you don't, I'm going to catch you when you're not looking. And that's going to take you back to that Luke when he said, my master delay is coming. I'm going to eat and drink and beat the men servants. And he said, he's going to catch you on a day when you're not ready and appoint you your portion with the hypocrites and unbelievers. That goes into what we was also discussing Wednesday from verse 1. You have a name, you're alive, but you're dead. Remember, you're supposed to be dead, but alive. Dead to the world, dead to the flesh, dead to sin, living unto Elohim. Versus you alive, but you dead because you alive, but you living in your pleasures. You're going to be dead to God. That's not a place to be. But read verse 5 for me, please, sir. Because we need to add this element on the way out. Because each one that's talking about overcoming, that's what we want to focus upon.
And he that overcome, the same shall be clothed in white raiment.
Now remember, right, verse 4, because we talked about that. Go to Ecclesiastes 9 and 4. He says you'll be clothed in white raiment. And he says that few of you have, there's a few names even in Sardis which have not defiled their garments, and they shall walk with me in white. Listen, Ecclesiastes 9 and 4.
Say, for to him that is joined to all the living, there is hope. For a living dog is better than a dead lion.
Whatever.
For the living know that they shall die.
Hold on, he said the living are joined in what? Read verse 4 again.
Say, for to him that is joined to all the living, there is hope.
If you are joined to all the living, there's hope. If you are joined to Hamashiach, there's an expectation of something. But if you're not joined to him, what hope do you have? Continue.
For a living dog is better than a dead lion.
Go ahead.
For the living know that they shall die,
but the dead
know not anything.
Go ahead.
Have they any more reward? For the memory of them is forgotten.
Listen.
Also their love.
Stop. Listen. Even he talking about in a literal sense. But listen to this here, man. If you dead, your memory is forgotten because he said your name will be blotted out. Read it again. Just don't think about it in the natural. Taking contrast of what's read in verse 5, he that overcome, the same will be clothed in white raiment. And I will not blot out his name out of the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Abba and before his Malachim. It said that the downfall of ancient Sardis was facilitated by one Persian climbing an unwatched cliff and then telling his comrades to do likewise and sack the city. My God, today. Go ahead.
For the living know that they shall die, but the dead know not anything.
If you dead, if he that, she says, she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. So again, if you living in pleasure, you dead while you alive, that means you know not God. Because how could you be alive in God and be dead? That means you don't know God. Continue. What the next thing he said?
Said neither have they any more reward.
So guess what? Then you don't have a reward. What else?
For the memory of them is forgotten.
Now your name blotted out from under heaven. Go ahead.
Also their love and their hatred and their envy is now perished. Neither have they any more a portion forever in anything that is done under the sun.
Go ahead.
Go your way, eat your bread with joy, drink your wine with a merry heart.
We talk about that, man. That's the Lord's Supper. But listen to what he said.
For Elohim now accept your works.
Now he accepted.
Let your garments be always white.
Always
Let your head lack no ointment.
Let your garment always be white. Go to Zechariah 3 and 1. I ain't even getting to what I needed in number 24 because I got thrown off.
And he showed me Yahushua the high priest standing before the Malachim of Yahuwah, and Hashatan standing at his right hand to resist him. Yahuwah said unto Hashatan, Yahuwah rebuke you, O Satan. Even Yahuwah that have chosen Jerusalem rebuke you not. This is a brand plucked out of the fire.
Listen.
Now Yahushua was clothed with filthy garments and stood before the Malachim. And he answered and spake unto those that stood before him, saying, Take away the filthy garments from him. And unto him he said, Behold, I have caused your iniquity to pass from you, and I will clothe you with change of raiment.
Go ahead.
And I said, Let them set a fair mitre upon his head. So they set a fair mitre upon his head and clothed him with garments, and the Malachim of Yahuwah stood by.
Now he got white raiment. Now it's not defiled with the works of the flesh, because now he's been made new. So when you look at these have garments that are not defiled, and you'll walk with me in white, and we read in Jude that they would even want a garment stained by the flesh. Now I want to go to this point. You can stay where you're at, right? Because we went to the tents with Isaac, right? I'm in Numbers 24 and 5. Right? How goodly are your tents, O Jacob, and your tabernacles, O Yasharal. So, of course, how goodly are those tents? But I want you to get 2 Corinthians 5 and 1, because we're going to take it to a different tent. How good are these tents that you dwell in? These tents would be representative of walking in white, if you would. Go ahead.
Say, for we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved, we have a building of Elohim,
Mm-hmm.
a house not made with hands, eternal in Shamahim.
Mm-hmm.
For in this we groan earnestly, desiring to be clothed upon with our house, which is from Shamahim. If so be that being clothed, we should not be found naked.
Not should be found what?
Naked.
Because if you found naked according to your law, would that mean your sin exposed? But now you clothed in white, ain't no iniquity seen. That's why he said, I've taken off my coat. How can I put it back on? If you've taken off the filthy garments, how would you put them back on? You would always walk in white because you wouldn't want to be stained by the flesh. That's why these tabernacles are good. That's what was pointed with Isaac taking Rebekah into his tent, because these are goodly tents. We didn't read it at the beginning of Genesis 26, but that's when he got the covenant given to him. We read it the other day. You know what I'm talking about? That's a good tent she dwelling in, because she dwelling in a tent that is of God. But come back to Numbers 24:6. Listen what it say. I got this. Number 24:6 says, as the valleys are spread forth as gardens by the riverside. So automatically you hear gardens by the riverside. You know what I'm talking about? You could think of Ezekiel 47. You could think of Revelation 22, but most importantly, Genesis 2 should come to mind, because this would be representative of the Garden of Eden. You know, the book of Isaiah tell you that he will make Jerusalem as the Garden of Eden. As the trees of lying aloes which Yahuwah have planted as cedar trees beside the waters, he shall pour water out of his buckets and his seed in many waters. And his king shall be higher than Agag, and his kingdom shall be exalted. Now, I mentioned that there because they were drawing wells. Now, you say you have water out of his buckets. Now, where you going to get water in a bucket from? This ain't no poor people stuff where you had a bucket outside in the rain. So that's what you do when you got to improvise. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to tell you something. When you're poor, boy, you get real innovative. You know what I'm saying? Now, that Hebrew word is delay, and that's for bucket. That's a pail or jar for water. Dalet and lamad. So now you can see to be at the door of the shepherd. But this is the most important part, because they were digging for this well. And then Moses also watered the flocks. So now when you watering, he said, I'm going to take buckets of water to water the seed. So then he said that you might be washed with the water of the word. And if you're washed with the water of the word, guess what you would be? You would be without spot, wrinkle, and blemish. That's what he said. That means your garments would what? Always be white, and clean linen is the righteousness of the saints. Because what is going to make you clean? For the just who live by their faith. That's what pure. You see how that goes back to the weightier matters of the law. Judgment, mercy, and faith. Or that I, Yahuwah, delight in these: loving kindness, righteousness, and judgment. These are the things that I take pleasure in. And see, most, like I said, most people get caught on you telling people keep the law, keep the law. Man, look at, man, if you love and believe in God, keeping the law is quite easy. That's quite easy. Now, the temptations and testing of your faith, that's a whole nother conversation. You know what I'm talking about? And I think we talked about it a little bit of last. That's another conversation. Man, you ain't getting tempted with no pork chop, man. You think that's a temptation? I wouldn't even say, depending on who you are, I don't even think most people get tempted on the Sabbath. Going back to what we were talking about before, is sometimes you could get caught up in the monotony of it, if you would. You know what I'm saying? Where if you've been doing it for a certain period of time, you get complacent and you start taking it for granted. You know what I'm saying? And that's natural because you're a human. See, again, I have to reiterate this fact. You have to remember, this man said, I know you're frame, but you are but dust. So he knows this. But you have to know this for yourself and realize that if you have a thought or something that arises, that you don't be so harsh and what's the proper word I want to use? So I don't have anything coming to mind other than being negative in yourself, view of yourself, because you're like, I shouldn't be thinking like this. You know what I'm saying? It's not the fact if you think like this. It's the fact that you cast it down. Because you are dust and ashes, you are flesh and blood, you are a human being. Your flesh has the proclivity to want many, many things. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. That's why you say watch and pray, lest you enter into temptation. You know what I'm saying? So that goes on to being on guard. You know what I'm saying? Because watching Hebrew is a little different. But you've seen what he said, watch and strengthen the things that are ready to die. So give strict attention to. So when you see certain things, give attention to that. And then confirm in your mind, oh, no, we ain't on that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to nail that to this stake, if you would, and put that to death. Again, as Paul wrote to the Corinthians, that you cast down and bring into captivity to obedience. So you have to realize that, man, because you're going to have a constant jousting with your flesh until the day that you die. Because if the Lord himself told his apostles, you are those who were with me in my temptations, the trying and testing and proving of his faithfulness and constancy, I don't know why you think it would be any different. And what that trying for you, it's not the same as for him or the person next to you or the person next to you. Remember, he said, many of us are going to go through manifold temptations, but the trying of your faith is more precious than gold. So you have to keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? That's why Paul said, I fought the good fight. I've kept the faith. The issue is not if the thoughts arise, it's if you fight or not. You know what I'm saying? That's the hallmark is where your heart is. Do you have the heart to fight? Even in the darkest night, will you fight? Because most people not going to fight. You know what I'm saying? They're going to curl up. Would you be willing to stand in the pocket and catch an uppercut? You know what I'm saying? But even when you catch that uppercut, that you keep coming forward. Because I'm going to keep on fighting. So you just got to keep on fighting. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Make and build your character. So, of course, y'all know in Exodus 32 and 39, he tell he that sinned against me, I will blot him out of my book. And of course, in Malachi 3, he tell there's a book of remembrance written before him on all those who thought upon his name. And we'll deal with the confession part, y'all, tomorrow, because we could take that and ride into Philadelphia, because there's nothing negative in Philadelphia. I praise you, who indeed. You know what I'm saying? So Philadelphia won't have no negativity attached to it. But it wasn't that much negativity in the others. Just one isolated. Just pointing out, hey, I ain't with this right here y'all got going on. And he did something that any good leader would do. He didn't accentuate and focus on the negative. He let them know, hey, y'all been doing this here. I'm pleased with all that. But this right here, though, we got to clean this up. And then he let them know, hey, if you overcome, this is what I got for you. See, if you pay attention to that, that's proper leadership. See, if you come in leadership and you only come with the negative, but you don't give any praise before you come with the correction, it can destroy morale. You know what I'm talking about? And you turn around and you look at what he spoke to those in Ephesus and what he said to them in Smyrna. And now I say this here, with Smyrna, he ain't really checked them. With Smyrna, he was trying to strengthen them to be able to endure persecution. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm just mentioning that now. Smyrna was a negative. He was telling them, hey, boy, I need y'all boys to be ready to ride, because, boy, they're going to come for you. You know what I'm saying? That's a different conversation he gave to them. Hey, be ready to ride. I'm going to come for you. You know what I'm saying? When he was dealing with Ephesus, it was more so, hey, man, y'all boys done got a little comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Tighten up on your backstroke. You done got a little comfortable. Now, with Pergamos, it was different. He like, hey, boy, y'all boy tripping. You know what I'm saying? Y'all boys tripping. But he said, hey, but I got a few things against you, because y'all rolling with Balaam. I don't fool with that. Then Thyatira was more so, y'all boy really tripping because y'all got that hoe in here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all bugging for letting her ride. And then with Sardis, it was more so, hey, your works ain't perfect, man. Tighten up on your backstroke, put to death what you need to put to death, and we're going to make it do what it do. Now, when you get to Laodicea, it's going to be more so, y'all half-stepping. You know what I'm saying? Y'all half-stepping. In Philadelphia, he like, hey, boy, y'all boy good. Y'all just keep on rolling. But we'll start right there. It's 11:30. Hallelujah for Yahushua the word. I appreciate y'all time this evening. I bless y'all the house. Elohim in the name of Yahushua. If we're willing, man, we'll be back at it on tomorrow to make it do what it do. I appreciate y'all. I bless y'all the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just keep it tight, man. Keep it pimping, man. It's worth it in the end. Just gotta, just gotta grind a little bit. But yeah, just keep that in mind, man, when you look at and I got more could have discussed on the comparison from the least to the peace, brothers, man, to the weightier matters. Hallelujah indeed, bro. Hold it down. Amen, man. Love you too, bro. Be safe, man. You know what I'm saying? But just gotta weigh and consider, man. It's always another day, Lord willing. You can get it right and keep it tight. So again, I appreciate y'all. Bless y'all the house. I honor him in the name of Yahushua, who are willing, man. Till the next time, we still. I forgot to mention that, yes, sir. So, because my mind be a little all over the place. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, we at that time frame from that 8:30, 9 o'clock, man, because we in the midst of summer. I mean, probably just go ahead and y'all just back on 9 o'clock. That give you time to get done what you need to get done, because it still be light outside. You know what I'm talking about? I know some of y'all be running like Carl Lewis out this hole. You know what I'm talking about? But nevertheless, 8:30, 9 o'clock time frame, the time, man. You know what I'm saying? I might not make it strict 9, man, just on the aspect of not having it be pushing 11:30 at midnight. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, I'll sort it out. So, Lord willing, man, till the next time. You know about that axe handle.